Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest lasting AA battery.
This is RSN, Rangers Sports Network, presented by Progressive. It is baseball time in Texas. Oh my goodness, what a grab! To the wall, and the Rangers win it!
Well, here they come. Rangers fans heading indoors tonight, where Rangers baseball is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Middle game of this series, the Rangers and the Angels. With the Rangers winning yesterday, they leapfrogged Los Angeles and now have top position in the American League West table. And some of the best hitters in the game going here tonight. Of course, Corey Seager for the Rangers. Mike Trout has been healthy to start this year for the Angels. All right, welcome in, everybody. Great to have you along with us tonight. I'm Dave Raymond with David Murphy, and the Rangers looked good last night. Got everything done right? They got just enough offense, 4 runs. Heck, that's kind of an explosion these days for this team. But maybe the big story, and clearly the big story really last night, was the pitching that they got from Tyler Mahle.
100%. So John Gray and Cody Bradford go down in spring training. Jack Leiter has a blister issue. Well, no hiccups for this Rangers pitching staff. And Tyler Mahle has been absolutely spectacular. Most strikeouts in a start in nearly 3 years. He went 6 strong innings. His numbers are off the charts. His fastball especially. 0.56 average against the fastball. The OPS is just 320. That's best in baseball. That's compared to the average of 748. Patrick Corbin goes tonight. He will try to follow up on that spectacular performance from Mahle. There's what he did last Tuesday versus the Cubs in cold conditions. This guy has 12 years of service time, and he simply knows how to get guys out. So he will follow suit for this Rangers staff.
All right, we'll see if the Rangers can support him with more offense tonight. Like offense they got yesterday from their 2 catchers, both in the lineup. What a night they had. Check in on them with Laura Stickles when we come back.
Rangers baseball on RSN is presented by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. Visit progressive.com. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. Going into this offseason, one of the major focuses for Rangers President of Baseball Operations Chris Young and General Manager Ross Fenstermaker was to upgrade this Texas Rangers catching situation. They did so by bringing in Kyle Higashioka, who had an excellent season last year for the San Diego Padres, and the hope was that it would alleviate some of the pressure off of Jonah Heim. And when I spoke with Fenstermaker today, he said so far they've done exactly what they expected. Higashioka has picked up exactly where he left off last season, and Heim is back to the player that he was in 2023. And they've been especially effective at home as we take a look at our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. Right now they're averaging 290 at home with 2 home runs and 4 doubles. And last night's game was a perfect example of it. In the 7th inning, Heim got on base with a 1-out double, and Higashioka doubled in the next at-bat for the 2nd run of the game. Higgy also caught a runner stealing for his 2nd consecutive game, so Heim is going to look to keep that streak going today as he's the one behind the dish. But Fenstermaker added to me that both catchers bring different things to the table, and it's been great to see them have this kind of success early in the season. Guys?
That's been awesome, and it was the very first move they made this offseason to add Higashioka. And it's a great point, Laura, that's a little pressure off each of them, really. I mean, they're both able to play plenty to stay hot, but neither of them going to get worked or ground down into the dirt this year. So hopefully that will allow them to be really effective for a long time.
Talked about it a little bit last night, 1A and 1B.
Yeah, it's a perfect setup. Now the Angels, they've got a similar one going as well at the position. They come in 9-7, a half game back now, and they will go with Ward, Rengifo, and Trout up top. Soler the DH, Darno catching today, and Chanuel at first base. It's Paris, Adele, and the shortstop Kevin Newman batting ninth.
There's Patrick Corbin, as mentioned. It'll be his 2nd start as a Ranger. accumulated. He's getting close to that 2,000 inning marker for his career. There's his career record, 343 career games. He's a sinker slider guy with a four-seam fastball and mixes in a changeup 10% of the time. And the defense behind him tonight looks just like this. Dustin Harris gets the start in left field. Leote's back in there, along with Adolis Garcia in right. It'll be Young and Seager on the left side. Simeon and Jake Berger back in there tonight. Jonah Heim in there behind the plate. He will do the catching for Corbin.
All right, big start for Corbin. His second of the year. 35 years old, a two-time All-Star in the National League in 2013 and 18. Won a World Series with the Nationals in 2019. And he goes to work to Taylor Ward, and that one is pounded in the dirt foul for strike one. So Ward leading it off again tonight for the Angels. He went 1 for 4 yesterday. Angels shut out last night. And Corbin a little bit low with the slider. Well, the roof closed tonight. Rangers went with it open yesterday on what was a really lovely evening. 1-2 the count now. Closed it today. A little windy outside. 80 degrees out there. Inside, of course, controlled conditions, 74 degrees, very comfortable. And we'll see how the ball carries tonight as Corbin deals low with the slider again. That is 2-2.
Corbin likes that slider. He's a guy that, back in the day, I faced him one time, I think in 2014 in a spring training game, but he's a guy that I would describe his slider as a turbo slider. It just seems like it just keeps going. Seems like there's a stopping point for a lot of guys' sliders. If there was no catcher there, it would just keep the spin on it, the way that it worked. It was nasty. Looks like it still is.
Yeah, first time he's started a game in this ballpark, and he bounces that one up there. It's a full count to Ward. Corbin added to this Rangers roster very late in spring training. Signed on March 18th as the payoff pitch on the way, and that one foul tip. Ward stays alive. And Corbin did not get the opportunity really to get a whole lot of work in before being thrown into the rotation. You can see all those strikeouts and a great majority on the slider. So he goes with it again. Oh, it's a cutter, and he gets Ward swinging. And that's his first strikeout tonight.
Looks like he's on the side of the baseball. The cutter wasn't listed in the arsenal. It could be one of those things where he adds in some tracks from the slider so it has a different pitch shape. But either way, Taylor Ward's not seeing that. Swings right through it for the first out of the game.
No, it's nice to get the first one. And now a stoppage of play down the right field line. Ball girl to go retrieve something down there. Oh. There you go. It's not her fault. Those weren't her bottles of water. That's weird. A little oversight by somebody.
I don't know where those came from.
So Rengifo got an extra moment. So did Corbin in his first pitch. There's the slider again, but in the dirt for ball one. We saw the incredible pitching performance last night by Tyler Mahle. I mean, just brilliant. 6 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts against a team that had been hitting the ball well. And that was just a tad low, 2-0. And Mahle, take a look at where that one missed. I mean, it missed by that much. Bouncer right side. A good backhand play over there by Berger. A long flip. Corbin covers. 2 gone.
Good job by Corbin getting there. Look at how far off the bag that Berger is. He is in the second base position. Corbin fields his position well, gets over there. Can be a tricky position sometime. You're trying to hunt that baseball. You got to spin your head around to find that bag and make sure you're getting up the line and don't interfere with the runner.
Oh, nicely done. He's done a great job over there at first. Now Trout, and he'll take strike one. Anyway, I want to point out the great work last night by Mahle, and the fact that his first start was not a good one. His first start very forgettable, but he came back and has spun now 3 very good starts after that. And I think in Mahle's case, or Corbin's case rather, you have to kind of consider that first start in Chicago a little bit of the way you think about Mahle's first start. You just throw it in the rearview mirror. He was really rushed into that start. Not making any excuses. He certainly didn't. The 2-1. There's a swing and a miss. I think he had no spring training starts, no minor league starts. So it's a guy who's just getting out on the mound and doing it for real for the first time. It'll be interesting to see how he looks now going forward. So far, so good tonight.
Yeah, in freezing cold conditions where he probably couldn't really feel the baseball.
The baseball, he couldn't feel his fingers or toes. It was brutal. It was like 33 degrees at game time, wind chills in the low 20s. Awful day for baseball. There is right down the middle the fastball for strike 3 call. So a 1-2-3 for Corbin. That's a great way to start it, including a couple of strikeouts. When we come back, see what this Rangers offense looks like tonight. Semien, Seager, and Jock Peterson coming up. Nice scoreless start. Excellent job by Corbin at the top of the first. And now let's see what the Rangers running out there tonight. 10-7, best record in the American League, and a half-game lead over the Angels. Bruce Bochy will send Semien, Seager, and Peterson, as we mentioned, to go on a break. Peterson the DH. It's Garcia, Josh Young, and Dustin Harris getting the start in left field, batting 6th. Berger back in there tonight. He's at first. Heim catches. Leody Taveras in center field, bats 9th.
It'll be Jose Soriano that goes to the mound tonight for the Halos. He's had a nice season to this point, just yielding a 182 batting average against. He's got a 2-1 record in 3 starts. That ERA looks pretty good. Here's the arsenal for him: 60% sinker, 20 curve, 11 slider, and 9% splitter.
All right, his first offering to Semien. That one whizzes right in there for strike 1. 95 miles per hour. His first fastball tonight. Semien hoping that something begins to fall in for him. Yesterday hit one over the fence for a sacrifice fly. And that's kind of the way things have gone for him. He hit a ball really well yesterday. But Ward made a nice leaping catch at the wall. It ended up being a sac fly, but kind of felt robbed. There's a bouncer short, and that gets right underneath Newman's glove. And Semien is aboard. That ball smashed 110 miles per hour.
Saw one of these last night. I believe it was 112 that Corey Seager hit to first base. That couldn't be handled. Similar thing. Got to move your feet on that. Sometimes it's hard to. Just got to get underneath that baseball in any position, infield or outfield, but the ball beat him to the spot.
So first error on Newman this year. Here's Corey Seager, and he hits one up the middle. Oh, that one is in for a base hit. So nice start. Couple of base runners here for the first inning.
The plan against the sinker ball pitchers to make sure to see the ball up and let it get deep. That was closer to belt high. If you're swinging at balls around your knees, that's when the ground balls happen. So we know Corey Seager likes to hunt fastballs early, and he did a good job hunting that one up in the zone.
All right, Jock Peterson now. A fastball hitter. It has been a tough start for him. We'll see how Soriano starts him. And he goes with the curveball. Jock's made a living of getting after the fastballs. And this guy, a great fastball pitcher, but he may be somewhat reluctant at first to challenge Jock. Let's see. Oh, there's a fastball, and that one's lifted high in the air down the right side, foul.
Well, that's the tricky part for Soriano, because his sinker is his go-to pitch, and if you throw it in the right place, it could be a double play ball, which is what you want. But then at the same time, you have Peterson, who's such a good fastball hitter, and it looked like he was on time for that one, just caught it a little bit out front.
Check of the runners, and Soriano will look Marcus back.
A little Beltre shimmy.
Make him think. 1-1. That is down low. Now he throws hard. That was registering as a split finger fastball at 96. That's seems elevated. 2-1. And he sneaks a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Now, the interesting thing with Soriano, just 26 years old, his fastball velocity, average-wise, is down about a mile an hour this year. Averaged about 98 last year, 97 this year.
2-2. That's pulled foul. Another curveball. Yeah, his average fastball velocity this year comes in 97.8, and it's still the hardest fastball on average in the American League. So he's down, and yet he's still on top. 2-2, and that one in the air, center field. It takes Adell back several steps. Semien tags. He'll move to third. The Rangers will have him on the corners with one out.
It's a great job by Jock, and you could tell it on the swing before. Like, he really took something off his swing. He does the same thing here. This is just situational hitting at its finest, and this is what you have to do when you haven't been a team that's been scoring runs and bashing the ball all over the ballpark. You've got to do the little things. We saw Leody Taveras do it last night. Marcus Semien followed up with a sac fly. You shorten your swing up, you move runners, you do whatever you can to get a lead early in the ball game.
So now Garcia. Swings right through a fastball for strike one. I will say it was just an out, right, for Jock Peterson. But he looked a lot better in that at bat than I feel he's looked lately.
And it was a calmer presence, like he wasn't over swinging.
Bouncer left side of the infield. They'll go to second for one out, on to first in time for the double play. The one thing he just couldn't have in that first inning. And Soriano gets out of trouble in the first. We go to the second inning tonight. No score.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field, where we are still scoreless here at the top of the second inning. And guys, the Rangers made a couple of roster moves before today's game. The first being left-handed pitcher Jacob Latz was recalled from AAA. In his 5 outings in Round Rock, he's posted a .312 ERA. And he's also a reliever that can bring some length to the bullpen, which manager Bruce Bochy said today is the kind of thing that they feel like they need right now. His last outing was on Sunday. He went 2 2/3 innings against Oklahoma City, and the corresponding move was that right-handed pitcher Mark Church was optioned to Round Rock, where Bruce Bochy said he'll get consistent high-leverage innings and hopefully get back to where he was in spring training when he was really going after and attacking hitters. Guys.
That's the key with Church. Like, he just needs innings. He's still young. We know that he's got the stuff to be a part of the back end of this bullpen for a long time, and we're excited about that. In the meantime, Jacob Latz comes up. You know, I think it's a really good spot for him. There's other lefties in the bullpen. He was one of the main guys last year, and he does have the stuff to get righties out as well. But with Garcia and Milner out there as well, Rangers now have 3 lefties out there and can play some matchups.
Swing and a miss by Soler. Takes the count to 2-2. Jorge Soler, Travis d'Arnaud, and Nolan Shotwell this second inning for the Angels. Soler, the DH, he does strike out a lot. And the 2-2 pitch didn't miss by much. And the way Corbin walked off the mound, it seemed as if he felt like, at the very least, he executed the pitch the way he wanted. Yeah, that's a narrow margin. We'll do it again. Soler, 4 homers, 8 RBIs. Off to a pretty good start with his new club. And another deep count for an Angels batter. Here's a 3-2. And that is strike 3 called. Right on the inside corner. 3rd strikeout for Corbin.
He's throwing a lot of sliders, and he's throwing it for strikes, and he's kind of mixing it all around the strike zone, but he's doing a good job with 2 strikes of running that sinkers in on these righties. It's a little bit of a ride back. It starts on that white line, and there you go. Right on the inside part of the plate, catches that strike zone.
A clear strike, right? It was a bouncer foul.
Clear. Clear as day.
Did you feel when you were hitting that you had that kind of command of the edges of the strike zone, like you knew to that kind of a degree?
Not the edges.
Yeah.
I knew when it was a ball and a half to 2 balls off, or a ball to 2 balls off, which I felt like outside got consistently called on me. That was frustrating, but I can't say that I was a guy that had a great eye, and I didn't like to go down looking, so I was probably going to wave at something.
Well, d'Arnaud down on the count 0-2. Just kind of slaps that one up the middle.
Just like that. I was going to wave at something just like that, hoping that it would find a hole up the middle. This one looks like it could be out of the strike zone. Doesn't have his legs underneath him. He just throws the bat through the middle, and sometimes you're a good athletic hitter, find those holes.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you give yourself a chance doing that, right?
Right.
Shadowell now, and he'll take a strike. Boy, Corbin right on the edges of the strike zone and getting some calls from Charlie Ramos, our plate umpire tonight. I mean, there's strikes. He is hitting his spots. And Shadowell takes low. 1-1. Now it's a bit of an elevated pitch count already for him. Nothing terribly concerning. He could very much use a ground ball right here. That would be nice. 1-1. And that's on the edge. Another well-placed fastball. Strike 2. Well, a veteran guy. He was working out at home, waiting for a team to show some interest. Rangers came to him late, and he's been, could be a very big addition to this team. That's in the dirt. d'Arnaud had taken off towards second and then couldn't get back to first. Wow, Heim throws behind him, and d'Arnaud, he kind of hung himself out in no man's land. Ron Washington wanting to check and see if that's worth challenging, and it is not.
Big league catchers are so good. You get the least bit off of first base, and you see that extra step there from d'Arnaud. He should know that as a catcher himself, that he's going to get gunned down if he is the least bit in his secondary, a little too far from the bag. And that's something that helps your pitch count as well when your defense helps you out.
Well, that's a nice lift. Now the 2-2, and it's in the dirt. So the first man the Angels get on base promptly picked off, and that is just outside. Boy, good eye there by Shadowell, and that is a big part of his game. And he works the walk.
Yeah, he definitely does that really well. He's not a big exit velocity guy to this point in his career, although with 2 homers so far, it looks like the power numbers are improving. First base, a position where you've got to hit the ball out of the ballpark a little bit more, and he's been slow developing in that sense, but his on-base skills are pretty good.
So Corbin now works to Kyron Paris, dangerous right-handed hitter. 5 home runs, 8 RBIs for Paris. Terrific start for this young man. They'll try and keep Shonowell a little bit closer. The Angels have been really aggressive in recent years in moving their prospects up to the big leagues. 1-0. That's fouled off. Ron Washington has a lot of young players with which to work, and that's kind of perfect for him. He likes working with the youngsters. Harris just 23 years old, a second-round pick out of high school back in 2019. 1-1. And that's right down the middle, strike two. Shonowell, the base runner, 2 out. This will be the 20th pitch of the inning for Corbin, not before Paris calls timeout. Runner lead, small lead over there. And Corbin delivers 1-2, and a swing and a miss. He strikes out Paris, his 4th strikeout of the night. Boy, Corbin's got them all working so far here tonight. And the breaking ball gets the rookie swinging, inning over. All right, Murph, it's time for our Chevy Under the Hood tonight. And we look at Bruce Bochy celebrating his 70th, the 8th most wins all time among managers, 2181. And he could pass Dusty Baker for 7th on this homestand, in fact. 4 World Series titles. Big happy birthday to Bruce Bochy. Josh Young leads it off here, and he swings and fouls off, strike 1.
Yeah, Bochy is the man. I was talking to Wash before the game, and he just couldn't say enough about Bochy and just his leadership. You know, I asked Wash about his Angels team, then I was asking him about the Rangers, and that's kind of the first thing that came to mind for him is, you know, when you're led by a guy like Bruce Bochy, you know your team's in good hands.
Couple of managers in their 70s going head to head here tonight. Young's been swinging it well lately. The 0-2, and he pulls that one foul. Talk a lot about Wash and his interest in staying active. How about Boch today on his birthday, catching the ceremonial first pitch from his grandson Braxton. Yeah, nice job. His wife Kim right there with Braxton and his granddaughter Maddox. Special family moment there for Boch before the game. So he can still get after it a little bit too. 0-2 pitch, and that's off the plate. Boch's knees don't quite treat him as well these days. There's a moment of peril there, but got through it. There's a bouncer up the middle. Second baseman Paris coming across the bag makes a nice play, and they get Young. 1 down.
It didn't look like Boch wanted to bend down for his birthday.
No,
that's not what he wanted.
No, I think he's got down about as far as he's comfortable on that one. Let's see it again. Oh yeah. Oh, good scoop, Boch. Oh.
Still got the hand-eye though.
That's right. Felt like a good catcher too, right? He no doubt would have been willing to give up the body there to make sure that one stayed in front of him.
He was ready to go to both knees.
Dustin Harris, he smashes one down the right field line. That's a fair ball. And Harris heading to second. He'll stop the ball. They're calling it They're saying it's a ground rule double. Now I'm curious why that is. We lose track of the ball down in the corner. Our first base umpire, Alfonso Marquez, was down the line and immediately signaled double. There's no way a fan touched it, right?
Either a fan touched it or it bounced into the stands, which I don't think it did. Or maybe up and we'll get a better look right here. Bounces. Maybe it went above and beyond the fence and then bounced back into play.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Which is the thing, because if it got caught on something for a minute, the tricky part was Trout was going after it, and you're taught as a player, if the ball is dead, you're not supposed to go after it, and the umpire had not signaled anything yet. So I'm like, all right, keep running the bases until Harris was told to go back to second.
Well, Berger, and he takes strike one. By the way, Dustin Harris.
Swing that bat.
Yeah, looks pretty good at the plate. And the home run in Seattle on Sunday. Really well struck double right there. That was 103 off the bat. We saw him last year, the final 2 games of the season against the Angels in LA, and had a home run and a double in that series. It was 2 for 6. Bouncer up the middle. That's got a chance. It gets through. Base hit. Harris around third. He'll score without a throw. And Jake Berger drives in the first run of the night. The Rangers on top 1-0.
It's great to see the Rangers get an early lead. They didn't score until the 6th last night. And this is not a well hit ball, but Jake Berger hasn't been swinging it the way that he wants to. So he'll take anything that finds a hole. And it's amazing how you get a guy like Harris who hits a hard hit ball. Offense is just an infectious thing. You get a few guys doing it and everybody starts to swing it well, especially in a situation you get a runner in scoring position. You feel like you have a purpose out there, and that's big for both. Harris to lead it off and Berger to drive in that run.
So now Jonah Heim, and he'll take a curveball in. So the Rangers score first tonight. And see that they do that a little better than half the time here at home. They're 10-3 this year when scoring first. That's low. And let's see, we're 7 batters into the game. The Rangers with 3 hits already. Seager, Dustin Harris, and Jake Berger. Marcus reached on that error on a ball, probably the hardest hit ball yet. And 3-0 now to Jonah. There's a strike. 3-1. A couple of switch hitters here at the bottom of the order. Heim. Just saw Taveras waiting his turn. Taveras kind of the hero last night. Just getting the offense going late in the 6th inning with a bunt single, a stolen base, moved on an error, scored on a sac fly. The 3-1. That's low. Well, Heim is on with a walk. Now the Rangers at home, a much different team offensively. We take a look at our TXU Energy power stats, and the numbers aren't, the 4 runs per game, still not going to wow you, but appreciably better than the numbers have been on the road. But you see, hitting almost 300 with runners in scoring position. They've been running aggressively and well, and off to a decent start so far here tonight against a really good pitcher.
Kind of like we talked about last night, with the cold road trip, returning back home, being more comfortable in this building, the warmer weather that's going to happen all throughout the rest of the season. You know that the bats were going to start to warm up, and they have pieced together this offense. Leote started it last night. It's great that they got it going here early and mustered up some offense in the 2nd, and a good time to keep it going here with 1 out, put up some type of crooked number.
So Taveras, and he'll take that low curveball for a strike. Leo at 213 now. Berger at second, Heim at first. And this one up the middle. Bounces off of Soriano. They'll flip to second for the 1 out. Can't quite turn the double play as Taveras beats it out. And so there are runners on the corners with 2 away.
Well, a guy that runs as well as Leote. I don't know if that got Soriano or just kicked off the mound. Didn't get the smooth hop that they were expecting to. Here's the flip, but Leote runs well enough where he was going to beat that out regardless.
With a great look from the Worms' perspective out there around second base. Sesame Street had a worm, lived with Oscar the Grouch, named Slimy the Worm. And I don't know if that's Slimy who's operating the camera out there. But our dirt cam, there you go. Dirt cam look from Slimy. On the corners here with 2 out. And Semien takes high. 2-0. Rangers making Soriano work a little bit. Got the 1 run this inning, but it really would be huge to cash in a little more here. Uh-oh. 3-0. Boy, Soriano, he might be on the verge of making a really big mistake here.
Well, it's tough too. You know you got to come to him because you know you don't want Seager. And Semien, even though the batting average isn't there, are you going to take the 3-0 green light, or are you going to let this one go?
Well, he really had no decision to make. That one almost got him. So he's on via the walk, and Soriano has committed a borderline unforgivable sin. He has lost the right-handed hitter to load the bases and now face one of the toughest lefties in the game. Seager already has a hit off him. Take a look at our Ford leaderboard. When you talk about home runs against opponents, 34 against the Angels for Seager. All that time in the National League West piled up those big numbers. Now in the American League West, the team he's bullied the most, these Angels. What a spot right here. Rangers everywhere. 1 strike pitch. And Corey lifts it over shortstop. That drops in. Base hit. 2 runs are in. Semien digging for third. He's in there. A 2-run single by Corey Seager. And the Rangers absolutely add on in the 2nd inning.
I mean, you were just feeling after the walk of Semien that this was going to be a near automatic. There aren't a lot of those in the game of baseball, but Corey Seager is as much of one as possible. And very similar to the first hit, stays on the sinker, doesn't try to pull it. He drives it up the middle, catches it off the end of the bat, but drives in a pair.
Well, that's big. Jock Peterson now. And he has an opportunity to add to this. And he'll take a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. It looks like he disagrees with that. Jock flew out to center field in the first, but it was a pretty good at bat. Soriano, meanwhile, he's going to step off here. That's a disengagement. He was about to throw his 25th pitch of the inning. The former reliever turned starter, Jose Soriano. Seager running, and that is pulled foul. How about that?
Rangers have done a great job of being aggressive on the bases here early in the season. Jonah Heim running a little bit. We see Higgy run last night. Just some guys moving around on the base paths, trying to force the action.
I love it. Seager back to first. 0-2 the count on Jock. Boy, Soriano's become pretty deliberate now. And the pitch, that is right in there. Curveball, strike 3 called. Peterson down looking. But a great second inning for the Rangers, capped off on the 2-run single by Corey Seager. It's 3-0.
Patrick Corbin pitching nicely. Angels have 0 runs so far. Texas has scored 3. They have a 3-0 lead. And StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to show you what Corbin has done through 2 innings. 8 pitches on the edge. He's thrown 21 strikes and 37 pitches, and 8 of those have been dotted somewhere on the outside of the strike zone. And when you are locating your sinker and your slider the way that he has been all over the strike zone, you're making it difficult for hitters.
Oh, look at that. I mean, the big curveball right there finds the low inside corner. These are quality first pitch strikes. And Adell started after it, but did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike to the center fielder. Adell, he does have power. Only a couple of home runs this year. A guy who was rushed a little bit to the big leagues. 1-2 the count. But Ron Washington's been patient with him, and feels like with a little guidance and now some of the time that he's gotten, that all of the tools will emerge. The 1-2 pitch, and that's lifted foul on a play. Three 0 Rangers on top. There's Wash. I mentioned earlier he loves working with the young players. Well, for that matter, any player, but he's kind of perfect for the young players. 1-2, and there's a strikeout of Adell. 5 strikeouts early on here for Corbin.
Between Mahle last night, Corbin tonight, Rangers pitching is racking up the swings and misses and the strikeouts. You know, we were bound to see a different Corbin getting comfortable here at home and in a little bit warmer weather, feeling that baseball. Obviously, when you spin the ball like he does with that slider, or right there with the curveball, 64 miles an hour, you've got to be able to feel the seams to get a grip on it. There's Mahle. Tremendous job last night, especially with the 4-seam fastball, which he is dialed in on early in this season.
Well, Corbin, I mean, that's just not fair. The Bugs Bunny curve for a strike inside and low. The cutter up and on the outside corner. Strike 2. Newman, not much of a chance. Let's see what he goes with 0-2. Trying to get him to chase, and he did. Another strikeout for Corbin. My goodness.
Newman looked incredibly uncomfortable throughout the course of the entire at bat. Now, this isn't even fair, as you mentioned. 64 miles an hour, a little bit of a loopy curveball, and then you have a slider or cutter. It's a little bit shorter. Now, this one's got some depth on it, and this one, the bottom drops out of it. Newman's thinking he may get a fastball. Sorry, we're just going all spin in this at bat.
So now Taylor Ward, second time through, 6 strikeouts that first trip through the lineup. Man alive. Ward, one of those strikeout victims. And he takes a strike there. Corbin just spot on with the breaking ball. And working with tempo. That's low. 2-1. I did ask Corbin the other day about that start in Chicago in the cold weather, and he was huffing and puffing a big second inning. You know, that's about the lungs burning out there. But he said it wasn't awesome, right? But it wasn't too bad. He said I actually felt a little better than it probably looked, or than I thought I was going to feel. I think the pitchers, they all kind of claim that, you know, they're moving, so they can ward off the cold just a little bit. Good cutter there for a strike. 3-2. Well, this is some kind of impressive right here. 3-2 pitch, and Ward hits it hard out to left field. but right to Harris, and the inning is done. 1-2-3, third inning. Patrick Corbin, his second start as a Ranger. Say fans are going to like this guy. Well, he's pitching tonight. Rangers up 3-0. Nice start here tonight, 3-0 Rangers. Look at all these people here for the birthday party tonight. I love birthday parties. It's her birthday, Bailey Orr. Team photographer. Yeah, that's right, Bailey. You can't hide. She's used to being behind the camera, not on the camera. But Bailey, hey, there we go. Yeah, she knows how it works. Anyway, she shares a birthday with Bruce Bochy. It's kind of cool. Garcia flips one out into center field, and that drops in for a hit. Good start to the third inning. I'll bring up Josh Young. You know, the World Series after party, right? They just kind of continued for almost a full season. One of the real thrills was going to the White House with the team, and and that whole day was a really special day. And then right around the holiday season this last year, I had no idea, but Bailey had taken a ton of pictures during that visit. Everybody's all dressed beautifully, and it's a perfect backdrop for that kind of thing. She had taken all these pictures, and Chris Young had the team put together a book, like a yearbook almost, of the White House visit, and then gave it to everybody as a gift around the holidays. And again, I had no idea when they gave it to me what it even was. I said, "Oh, this is a book." I opened it up and flipped through it. It brought back so many wonderful memories. It's just such a, it's really one of the neatest things that came out of all that fun, all the frivolities. Close pick over there on Garcia. Just got back in though.
So just a good conversation piece, like it's on your coffee table, or?
Well, that's a good question there, Murph, because I need to figure out where that book is. I know it's in my living room area there, yeah. But it's like the ring, right? You get this great, it's a World Series ring. All my life, since I was a little kid, I couldn't have even dreamed of it. It's in a box in my closet.
I was gonna say, I hope you know where that is.
Yeah, I know where that is, but like, I don't know what to do with it. You hardly ever wear it. It's too big. 2-0 pitch, pulled foul. But it's not, right? At the end of the day, it's really not about the ring. It's, it's that whole journey. It's the ring is just sort of a tangible, I guess, reminder of what that whole thing was.
A really cool moment. That's especially the story that goes along with the ring, right?
Oh yeah.
Just all that. I had never heard so much. Every ring has the cool story to it, the statistics and the, whatever is inscribed on it. But last year, when we got the map of it, it's like you need a map to talk about all the talking points that come with it.
Yeah, and the coolest part of it was the road spelled out with the logos of the teams that the Rangers beat on the road. 2-2, pulled down to third base. They'll go to second for one, and all the way around the horn for the double play. 5-4 to 3. I'll clear the bases.
The Rangers have not had a shortage of base runners so far. They've had 5 hits. They've had 2 walks. Now, fortunately, we did talk about Soriano. He is a ground ball pitcher because he loves his sinker. Lots of ground balls, which usually ends up in a lot of double plays, and he's gotten 2 of those so far tonight.
And the turn is seen by Slimy out there at second base, manning our dirt cam. Here's Dustin Harris. He just seems to square up the baseball with a good deal of regularity. Takes ball 1. How about that? 6 major league games, man. 4 for 11 with 2 homers, 2 doubles, and a walk.
Pretty good. And just, I mean, you see that his intensity and his focus every time he has an at-bat. His at-bats have been tremendous, and he knows that he's getting an opportunity, and he is doing what a young player should. You get an opportunity at the major league level, you put a stranglehold on every single opportunity that you get, and you do what you can to force them to keep you up here.
1-2 the count. He was taking ground balls the other day at first base, which he's played quite a bit of first base in the minor leagues. Played a lot of infield in his career. Only recently an outfielder. The 1-2. And he swings and misses, and that strikeout ends the 3rd inning. So the Rangers get a hit. Can't do anything with it. 4th inning coming up here tonight. Rangers on top, 3-0.
Time now for our All-State Good Hands replay. Patrick Corbin is rolling so far. The offense got him 3 runs to this point, and he's taking it and running with it. Striking out hitters left and right. 3 innings pitched so far. He's got 6 punch-outs. Sliders working, the sinkers working. He's mixing in the cutter and an occasional curveball. He's been lights out.
Boy, after the performance yesterday, you'd think it'd be very difficult for anybody to step in and impress after what we saw from Tyler Mahle, but my goodness, Patrick Corbin looking really good.
Kind of 2 different versions. Like Mahle, the way that his 4-seamer and his splitter were working, he was working more north and south, and the way that Corbin's stuff works, it's more of an east and west type of thing.
Bouncing ball over to first base. Berger, good feed. And Corbin retires Rengifo 1 away. Again, Berger really well positioned. It's amazing, even with the outlaw of the shift, how often infielders are right where they need to be.
Yeah, and look how far over he is. Once again, he is in the second base position with Marcus Semien playing close to the second base bag. Analytics is such an advantage these days, and there he is. He's over there again, maybe not quite as far, but spray charts and all the homework that these guys do, knowing how to set up their defense and the tendencies of the hitters.
1-1 on Mike Trout. Trout struck out looking in the first inning, 0 for 1. Yesterday went 0 for 3 with a walk. And he hits that ball hard out to right field, and that does drop in for a hit. So the Angels have a base runner in the 4th inning. Bring up Jorge Soler. I mentioned that Soler, it's his first year with the Angels. He had that great season with Miami in 2023. He was an all-star, hit 36 home runs. Takes ball 1, and then in the offseason as a free agent, the San Francisco Giants signed him to a big 3-year deal. But then San Francisco traded him to Atlanta along with Luke Jackson, of all people, Rangers closer. 1-0, and that's fouled back. Braves then at the end of last season, I mean, it was November, they traded Soler again, traded him to LA. So the Angels, his 3rd team already on this contract. A guy you can expect to hit with some power. Toss over there to first, and Trout goes back in easily.
He's
a dangerous hitter, just hasn't really fit anywhere yet.
Yeah, he's scary when he gets hot. He's off to a nice start, hitting close to 300 with 4 homers and 8 RBIs. But you know, he showed on a national stage what he can do when he gets hot a few years ago. What was it, 21 or 22 that he was the World Series MVP for Atlanta, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, he has a great power, and he walks a lot. He has a a walk rate of in excess of 10% for 9 straight years now. So he's better than league average at getting on base that way. 1-2, and that's inside.
He always reminded me, and it's ironic because Torrey Hunter is in the building. He's a special assistant with the Angels, but his swing mechanics always reminded me of Torrey Hunter. But you know another guy who always reminded me of Torrey Hunter with his swing mechanics? Brett Hayes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Full count now. So Soler, as he often does. Now he struck out looking in the second, but he works the count full. I'll check in over there with Trout. Corbin 61 pitches into his night. Here's his 3-2. And there's a bouncing ball, third base. Young charges. Throws to second, 1 on the first, 2. Double play. So the Rangers can go around the horn as well. Inning over.
Great job by Josh Young coming to get this baseball. Quick throw. He gets it off. Simeon has done it so many times. He gets across that bag, makes a quick turn to end the inning. Here's the slimy Cam.
All right, let's go for a little ride here, Murph, on our Defy Wire Cam. Welcome, folks, back inside Globe Life Field on a Wednesday night. And oh, yeah, teach him young. He'd never figure that out on his own. Oh, they must be listeners too. Everybody's got headsets on. They're tuned in.
You know what the first dad was trying to do with running the finger up and down over the lips? He was trying to teach him like the Ferris Bueller, the hey, bada, 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 bada.
That's how we do it, kid. Well, now we go bottom of the 4th inning. Jake Burger on a single, drove in a run, scored a run in that 2nd inning. Then Jonah Heim, Leody Taveras, bottom 3rd of the order. And he takes off the plate. Kind of waiting for Jake too. I mean, we had a number of guys who have had a slower start. Didn't play yesterday, got a little bug, and so had the night off yesterday. Feels better today. He takes 2 and 1. But he just needs a little something to get it going on the offensive side. He does have a 4-game hitting streak going. Two-1. Yeah, that's a strike. 2-2. But the idea with Burger was that he would hit the ball hard. Drive in runs, hit home runs, that kind of thing at first base. Get a little more power out of the position. And in a lot of ways, even though the average is really low right now, it has kind of worked out that way. Leads the team now with 8 RBIs. Soriano's 2-2, and that is up and in. Full count. He also has the most batted balls this season on this Rangers club, in excess of 105 miles per hour off the bat. 7 of those. Chops one slowly toward third. Sometimes it's the soft contact, though, right? He's got an infield hit.
2 for 2. It's over at the dugout, gives him a smile. That's one of those nights. Yeah, we say it all the time. It's not how hard, it's where. He found a hole for an RBI his first at bat, and then just gets around this baseball soft enough to where he can use those wheels and motor down to first base. Rengifo knows. Yeah. Not even going to try to throw that baseball.
So Burger is on for Jonah Heim now. Third time tonight that the Rangers have put the lead man on base. The funny part is that the inning in which they scored all the runs was the one inning in which they did not get the lead man on base. You figure.
Either way, there's been traffic all over the place.
Yeah.
It has not been an easy night for Soriano. He has been fortunate. If he has not had the help of those double play balls, he'd probably be in some trouble. There'd be more than 3 runs on the board.
Yeah, he's nearing 60 pitches, and these are high stress pitches. A couple of balls off the inside to Jonah. 2-0 the count. Just want this one over the plate, and they get it there. The curveball. 2-1. Heim walked in the second inning. The second walk this year. He's flashed a little power early this season too. Quick toss over there on Berger, who's yet to attempt a stolen base. A lot of sinkers for Soriano. That's him a lot of ground balls. 2-1, and there is a ground ball down to first. Shanoel to second. Newman returns it to first, and the foot on the bag for the double play. Soriano almost missed the base, but they turn the 3-6-1. 2 away.
Third double play of the game for the Rangers offense, and Soriano has those ground balls going. Get out in front of that baseball. Get that head out in front of your hands. You're going to see some rollovers. Those balls go straight into the ground. We talked about it. 67% ground ball rate. Top 5 in the majors, and we're seeing it all over again tonight.
Taveras, he'll blast one right back up the middle. Well struck ball for a base hit. That'll turn the lineup over.
Leote stays hot. Good adjustment. He was one of those near double play victim in the second inning. He was able to beat it out. So it didn't quite happen, but good adjustment staying inside this baseball. See that ball shoot into center field.
So here's Semien. And he takes off the plate. Off the plate by a couple inches there. Tom Grieve texted me, Murph, and he said we used to call that the Murphy zone. Because pitches that were noticeably outside were consistently called strikes on you. And like that pitch might have been one of those pitches. Called a ball to Semien. But I guess, so you made the observation earlier, and
yeah.
Tag was listening, and he was like, yeah, no, we literally called it the Murphy zone.
And I was never too hard on the umpires for it. There were certain times when it drove me crazy more than others, especially when it would be a strikeout or a situation with runners in scoring position, but I guess it became hard at times.
Foul ball here. Keep the inning going.
Yeah, but especially with what we know now, that's something that wasn't preached to us back in the day. But the difference between, and you could assume so, and I was a guy, a lot of times I wouldn't be as aggressive early in the count, but being 1-0 in the count versus 0-1, especially when it would happen first pitch, I mean, that changes the complexion of the at-bat.
I'm glad to see you're over it. See, 1-1 to Semien. That's downstairs. Whew. Now you feel a little better?
Give me a second to breathe.
Yeah. Geez, that blood pressure was starting to elevate in a hurry.
There were two.
No, seriously, go ahead. I mean, this is good. This is good. I feel like we're getting someplace. Bouncer foul.
I need a couch.
So anyway, so there were two.
There was one in there was one in 2010 in the ALCS,
okay.
And there was one in 2011 in the ALCS. They might have been the two worst of my career. And in playoff games in those types of situations, that's the exact opposite thing you want. You want to make sure that a strike is a strike and a ball is a ball.
Taveras running. That ball's hit well. Deep out to center field, but Adell has room, and he gets to it to make the catch. The inning is over. Well, congratulations to everybody who kind of entered their own Murphy zone there that inning. That's all. Take a breath. It's 3-0 Rangers.
Rangers fans are flexing. This pitching staff is flexing as Corbin continues to put together another excellent outing. And what's been really impressive about this Rangers pitching staff is the fact that they're down two of their better starters in Jon Gray and Cody Bradford. But Jon Gray was in the clubhouse today. He spoke with members of the media and said that generally he seems in pretty good spirits. He said his cast came off yesterday. He was placed on the IL with a broken wrist when he was hit by a comebacker. And he said that everything is healing well. He said he's staying in shape and doing workouts not involving his arm, but he hopes to begin throwing in 2 weeks. And the expectation is still that he'll come back sometime in July or August, but so far so good, guys.
Ground ball here to shortstop to start the 5th inning. Good job by Corbin. Yeah, it was good news today. It's fun to see John down at the clubhouse beforehand. You know, that's the thing, the IL, right? And I've heard some of the guys call it the invisible list. And I think it's just for a lot of guys it's a really awful feeling to be on the IL, but for us it's always, you know, it's always a real welcome sight to see them again. We hadn't seen John in a couple days. You know, they don't go on the road trip, so anyway, it was good to see John, and it seems like he's advancing pretty well.
And remind me, I was there that night and surprised when it happened, but it was to his throwing arm, right?
Yeah.
His pitching hand, wrist, whatever it was.
2-0 pitch, and Corbin sneaks that one right in there. Corbin has issued 1 walk today, and it is to this guy, Nolan Schanuel. It's a part of his game in college, and it's already been a part of his game in the big leagues. He takes a strike. He's a patient hitter. He's definitely not going to give up anything to opposing pitchers. Still a young guy, just 23 years old. Great career at Florida Atlantic University. Pulls that foul. Stays 2-2. Galbora is right at her. Corbin trying to make it 5 scoreless. Schanuel trying to extend the inning for the Angels. Corbin 70 pitches into the night, but it's because of a couple of hitters like Schanuel. This is 7th pitch that he'll see, and he does roll it right to second base. Semien so sure-handed, throws him out. 2 gone. Well, he's getting his fair share of ground balls today. At the double play last inning. 5 ground ball outs today. Only 1 out in the air. Kyron Paris will take outside ball 1. Paris hits that ball pretty well out to left, but Harris is there, and the inning is done. That's the 2nd air out tonight, and 11 pitches in the 5th inning. Pretty well done. Corbin cruising with a 3-0 lead.
Well, Corey Seager will lead off the 5th, and he's had some consistency tonight, which will get us to our T-Mobile coverage cam. 2 singles in the 1st and the 2nd, similar exit velocity, and look at the contact point, or if you want to call it the impact point of each of those. We talked about seeing a sinker, you've got to get it up in the strike zone, but also see it deep. Let it get there. These are 2 nearly identical at bats, where the pitch was, the exit velocity, the result. Although the second one ended with 2 RBIs.
Which, by the way, kind of an interesting little side note to that. That one's just off the plate, 1-1. Those were the first 2 runs driven in by Seager this year of somebody other than himself.
Oh, not on a homer?
Yeah. He had 3 homers and 3 RBIs coming in, and he shoots that one into center. Wow. Another rocket.
Well, similar Same spot, different pitch, different exit velocity. You see the grip on the knuckle curve right there. And if you're looking at the screen, you saw the 103-mile exit velocity, but pretty much the same location, just hitting it between the two infielders rather than over the shortstop's head. 3 for 3 for Corey tonight. Nice night for him.
So Jock Peterson, who's 0 for 2. The Rangers endeavoring to do something in this 5th inning that they haven't been able to do all night. And that is cash in an inning where you get the lead man on base. They've done it one more time now, 4 out of 5 innings. No pitch, and Peterson got underneath it to pop up along the third baseline. Rengifo backpedaling now into it and makes the catch. Got one away.
It's going to come for Jock. His at-bats were better early on. That wasn't quite as good of an at-bat, and I know he struck out in the second. That first at-bat was great. You know, this guy's been around a long time. Sometimes it takes a little while to heat up, especially when you're with a new team, getting comfortable with a new group, but that bat's going to play.
Garcia now. Curveball finds that inside corner for a strike. Adolis 1 for 2. Slugging right-handed hitter. He's had more trouble with a fastball in his career. When he gets underneath that one, he sends that deep to center. Adell is back onto the track and he makes the catch. Man, it's tricky, and maybe we're just looking through rose-colored glasses, but every time I see something like that, I think, well, there it is. Now we're going.
That's a good thing. Pitch right down the middle. 103 exit velocity once again. This one off the bat of Adolis. Well balanced. Contact point was good. He just hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. Hit about 403, 404 feet. That's a nice swing. You know, something I've noticed too is, you know, he's hitting the ball in the air more this year, which it depends on what player you are. Some guys want to hit the ball on the ground. If you're a speed guy at the top of the lineup, Adolis is a guy that wants to get the ball in the air. The more he does that, they're going to turn into home runs. And he's amongst the leaders in launch angle and batted ball distance. Those are some good numbers for him that'll lead to good things.
Bouncer to third. Rengifo has it. Spins, throws to first, and it gets away from Shotwell. So Young is safe. You know, Rengifo did that thing. You'll see guys do it from time to time. Kind of made that little turn, checked the label on the ball, and then threw it, and it just wasn't a good throw.
The think long, think wrong type of mentality. Just go ahead and get rid of it. And you saw Ron Washington there. He wasn't reacting, but you know that he's a stickler for defense, so that's frustrating. One on the throw from Rengifo, because that can be a better throw, but then also on the part of Shotwell. And that's not an easy pick right there either. That's a long hop, but that's a play that can be made. I mean, we've talked about Nathaniel Lowe over the last few years and the amount of balls that he has picked. So that is a ball that can be dug out of the dirt.
Gives a chance to the rookie now, Dustin Harris. And he'll take a curveball for strike one. He hit a ball hard in the second inning, and that got the offense going a little bit. You said it at the time. Sometimes, you know, it takes one hit and then everybody starts feeling better. Rangers put a lot of guys on that inning and scored 3. This time he lines out to first and the inning is over. Well, it was a good idea, but nothing doing. 6th inning coming up. Rangers still lead 3-0. All right, Murph, it's time for our enhanced camera angles, brought to you by Standard Insurance. Dirt Cam giving us some cool looks right around second base tonight. It's pretty cool.
Different way to look at the action.
And the kids having fun this evening. What better to do on a Wednesday night? I think the young lady got some cotton candy tonight. Go to work here in the 6th inning. Joe Adell, Kevin Newman, and then Taylor Ward 3-0. Rangers on top. And Patrick Corbin is dealing tonight. That's low. 1-1. 35 years old, his second start in a Rangers uniform. Signed at the last minute this spring. And he gets a broken back ground ball to short. Seager throws out Adell, one away.
Well, it appears to be a routine play, and you see Corey saying something about it. Watch this ball all the way. Last hop right there, checks up on Corey. And you work from the ground up, and if you have good hands the way that pretty much every major league shortstop does, you make the adjustment. But that is far from a routine play. Good job.
Now Newman, and he'll pull it foul. Strike one. Struck out in the third inning tonight. And he watches one low. The one thing about Corbin, when Corbin was added there in late March, part of it for the Rangers was a little fear with, Laura was talking about John Gray and the injury that he sustained. Cody Bradford with the elbow soreness that put him down. This one lined out to center by Newman. And the Angels have a runner here. The Rangers suddenly were faced with the reality that they're going to need somebody to pitch some innings. And there was a time where it looked like the rotation had a lot of depth. When you lose two guys in the span of a week, suddenly it has a lot less. So they find Corbin. Well, Corbin, he's pitched exclusively for National League clubs. But the thing about it is he just works and works and works. He's the only pitcher in baseball, is it 7 years now? 31 or more starts in every full season since 2017. 31 starts. I mean, that's the very few guys who do that once or twice in a 7-year span anymore. So he's going to take the ball. He's going to give you innings. And today, he's done a whole lot more than that. He has pitched beautifully. That's right down the middle for a strike. 2-1.
Now, this is usually the type of guy that you're just going to look for a quality start from. Whether it's 3 earned runs over 6 innings, maybe 3 earned runs over 5 innings, and starters typically don't go as deep. So this is a strong performance. He struck out 6 the first time through the lineup. Now, this is the 3rd time through. Gave up 2 hits. Has not allowed a strikeout the 2nd time through. So the Angels hitters have adjusted. But I think because of the strikeouts, he got some early swings, and he's still getting weak contact.
Armstrong getting ready in the bullpen. This one down the first baseline, heading foul, long run. Oh, that one kicks up some powdered sugar down there and then bounces up onto that net. The game of whack-a-mole goes wrong, but that is an automatic double for Ward.
Well, more weak contact. This just decides to find some real estate in the perfect place. And right on that chalk line. Good for a double. Rangers threatening now, and 3rd time through the lineup. So this is usually the time where, especially if you see 2 consecutive hits, you start to think about going to your bullpen. Rengifo, the switch hitter, so maybe they want to keep him there from the right side. But with 3 consecutive right-handed hitters coming up, starting with Mike Trout in the 3-hole after Rengifo, you might consider going to the righty.
Well, it's the first time tonight that the Angels have put anyone in scoring position. Ward is at second. Newman at third. On the Ward double. And for Ward, I mean, that was the first extra base hit of the series for the Angels. And now Rengifo. And he'll hit it on the ground, shortstop, and the throw's coming to the plate. The tag, they did not get him. Well, that's a gutsy play by Seager just because of how deep he was when he got the ball. Rangers looking upstairs to see if it was close enough to review.
It was a gutsy play, but it's deep enough in the hole where Seager knows that he's probably not going to get the out at first. So he comes with the closer throw to home, and who knows if that's on the third base side of home plate, you might get the runner there. And Newman with a good slide to the outside part of the plate makes Jonah reach and not able to secure the out.
Boy, that really was a lot closer than it maybe even looked live. But Corbin, a great night tonight, allows that run, responsible for the 2 men on base, and I'll turn it over to Shawn Armstrong here in the 6th. Okay, 1 out, and Shawn Armstrong checks in here. Couple of base runners for Mike Trout. So what a spot for Armstrong in a 3-1 game, and he runs that one low and outside for ball 1. It's an infield hit a moment ago by Rengifo. They got the Angels' first run of the series to the plate. Newman scoring from third on a close play. That's downstairs. This is interesting. Taking a look again.
There you go. You see the ball off the bat. It's deep in the hole. You see Taylor Ward holds at second base, and Newman is aggressive. He comes in hard with the head first slide. They just miss him just late on the tag, but still able to keep the double play in order. I guess that would have happened regardless, but able to keep Ward from advancing to third base.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting about it. As you pointed out, you probably, it's a long shot to get Rengifo at first. Probably not going to happen. It's a long shot to get the out at the plate, but it's worth a shot. If you throw over to first to get Rengifo, Ward likely advances to third and then would have scored on that fly ball right there. Instead, he has to hold second base, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, well, great job, and it means a lot now. You see where Ward is. It is kind of like the type of thing where if there's a runner on second with nobody out and there's a hard hit ball to second base and they throw to third, it's just uncharacteristic. So no one, not even us, we weren't expecting Seager to come home with it, but it's a worthy try and just kind of a heads up baseball move. I like it.
Yeah, it ends up being really material to this inning as Soler takes up for a ball. If he goes to first, that last fly ball by Trout's probably a sacrifice fly and makes it a 1-run game. Instead, he preserves that run. Now that's, of course, assuming a lot of events happening that we'll never know, but really interesting play.
I think that's the fun part of the game, when you see the creativity and the things that you don't really see. You've watched the game long enough where you think you've seen it all,
right?
But you always see something new. Even, did you see the play last night? I believe it was Detroit, Milwaukee. Runner on first. They throw. There's a ground ball to first base, and they throw to try to get the runner out. Well, it hits the base runner in the back, but still ends up deflecting right to the shortstop, and they made the out. I'd never seen it before.
No. 2-2. Count on Soler. And there were a couple of really wacky events last night around baseball. I'm blanking now on the hitter who nearly fouled out twice.
Oh, it was Manny Machado.
Machado.
Yep.
Looked like he was out twice in the inning.
It was.
On balls that were literally dropped.
There was one down the right field line that was misplayed, and then a pop up to the catcher that was misplayed, and then he goes deep on the next pitch.
Just,
like you see a guy get a second chance sometimes and hit a homer, but never a third chance.
Well, Soler strikes out, and that ends the 6th inning. And it saves Corbin further damage as well.
Great job by Armstrong getting out of this inning, striking out Soler on the cutter down the middle. And Corbin loves it. He threw a great game. He deserves for somebody to come in and do a great job right behind him. Rangers still lead.
Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Toyota. Test drive a new 2025 Tundra at your local Toyota dealer and visit Toyota.com today. Globe Life Field tonight. That young man enjoying some pretty good baseball. He saw some excellent pitching by Patrick Corbin tonight. No doubt be talking about that with his buddies tomorrow. 3-1, Rangers leading. They'll try to add to it here in the 6th inning. Berger, Heim, and Taveras. Couple of hits tonight for Jake. The last one, just a little dribbler on the third base side, and he shoots that through. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
He's heating up. And you knew with so many of these guys, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Talked about Jock Peterson his last time through. His first at bat was better. It's only a matter of time for him. We knew the same thing for Berger. You throw him enough pitches over the plate, and it's good to see him going the other way with authority.
So Jonah now takes down low for a ball. Heim has walked, bounced into a double play. Former Ranger Brock Burke has begun to loosen in the Angels bullpen. Left-hander getting ready for Seager and Peterson, no doubt. Should that become a reality this inning? Or who knows, maybe earlier. But that would seem to be the idea. Rangers got 3 runs in the second. And it's 1 and 2 on Jonah. Rangers came into play today with the best record in the American League. 10 wins, 7 losses. There's been a little hand-wringing in Rangers Nation over the offense's struggles early on. The fact is, at 10 and 7, that's a 95 win pace for the season. Yeah, that's low. 2 and 2. I think we're not that this is the first 3 weeks of the season. You know, fans probably wouldn't be quite as high strung about it, because you wouldn't notice the numbers. But when you're starting a season cold like this, then you see the low batting averages, maybe the low slug, whatever. If this happens in June, you're none the wiser. You're like, hey, they're playing pretty well. They've won 10 of their last 17 games. 3-2. And that's pulled on the right side of the infield. Paris back to second, and there'll be no return to first. So they force out Berger, 4-6. 1 away.
Yeah, but to your point, with any of these guys, if they get off to a good start, say they're hitting 320 through their first 20-25 games, or even if they're hitting 270 at some point in June, if you go, you know, 0 for 20, 0 for 25, you know, that's going to take a hit to your batting average, and it's not going to look as good. But it's different, as you just said. When you start off the season 2 for whatever, and you're batting under 100 or somewhere slightly over 100, it just doesn't look good on the scoreboard. I started the 2009 season 0 for 23. So I had to dig myself out of a hole, and it wasn't a comfortable one. Ended up working out, but it's, you know, for the first few weeks there, even after you start to get hits, you're hitting 1 something, or, you know,
how long did it take?
Slowly climbing. I don't even remember. Maybe until the end of May, where it started to look somewhat respectable.
1-1 on the way, and that's outside. Just a smidge beyond the Murphy zone there. 2-1. Yeah, that's tough. Do you think there's anything, you know, to the idea that maybe because it's veterans like Semien and Peterson, this one on the ground, shortstop. Newman will go to second for the out. Paris on to first, not in time. Taveras beats it out with that good speed. Keeps the inning alive.
This ball's hit well. Leote's not a guy, especially when he's batting from the left side, that's going to be easy to double up. Newman had to go to his backhand, which helped. But you think as hard as it would hit, they might have a chance. But Leote gets down that line.
Well done. Pitch count at 88. Ron Washington out there. He has not signaled to the bullpen. You have the right-hander Semien ready to hit. Then the two lefties. I think Wash is actually out there to tell him, like, look, get me one more guy. Which is interesting, right? Managers don't often make
they don't.
kind of trips.
Giving a sales pitch and probably saying, hey, we don't want Seager up again with anybody on base. He's 3 for 3 already. He's heating up. But more than anything, Wash giving him a little pep talk. Probably just telling him to empty the tank.
Yeah, you would hope that it isn't anything like, hey, don't walk this guy, right? Kind of like when a guy steps up on the tee box saying, like, hey, avoid that water on the right there. Be careful of that. Just assuring that that's where that next drive's going to go. First pitch swinging. Marcus hits a dribbler to short. A bare hand play, and it's wide of the bag. And Marcus legs out an infield hit. And so now it does get Seager to the plate. Wow, how big a play might this end up being? Because now Wash has to make that move. He signals for Brock Burke. You can tell by that exhale right there. That is not how he wanted this inning to play out.
Yeah, I said I told him to go out there and get him. He had his best stuff. Weakly hit baseball, and it still didn't work.
So the lefty and former Ranger Brock Burke coming on to face Corey Seager in the 6th. Well, 3-1 our score, and Brock Burke coming in a big spot here with Corey Seager coming up.
You see that note at the bottom. 3 of 3 inherited runners have scored. He's thrown 5 1/3 so far this season. ERA a little bit inflated. 4-seamer, changeup, slider, sinker for the left-hander.
First pitch swinging, and Seager got underneath it. Deep out to center field. Adele with just enough room. Oh, man. Seager's smiling as he rounds first. He just missed, knocking out a 3-run homer. Rangers leave a couple. 7th inning coming up here tonight. It's 3-1.
What a big series this weekend as the Dodgers come to town. And sure enough, Jacob deGrom takes the mound on Friday night here at Globe Life Field. Scan the QR code or visit Rangers.com for tickets. Here's our Jack Daniels wire cam. Checking out the area along the third base line. Good crowd tonight, just like last night.
Yeah, we've had great crowds even during the week here. Of course, it is a first place team, these Rangers. And even more than that, they've played really entertaining baseball. Now the kids, they love it. Moms love it too, right? You bring the kids out, they can make all the noise they want, and
doesn't matter.
Everybody's having a good time.
So you're supposed to make noise at the ballpark.
d'Arnaud leading it off here in the 7th. Armstrong, great job to get out of that 6th inning. And he sneaks one in at the bottom of the zone there. Strike 2 on d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud, that's very kind of French sounding and spelled last name. The apostrophe in there and everything. And then you got Kyron Paris also due up this inning. It's really quite an eclectic group.
One of the themes for tonight, if any of the fans watched the pregame show, you and Matt Hicks were more so Matt.
Yeah, Hicks, yeah, he's all over the French. I guess he took French in high school. And there's Boch, born in France. Army brat, as he would describe himself. 3-2. This one blooped over near first and caught by Berger. One away. So Darno back to the bench, and here's Shotwell. Shotwell has walked and grounded out. And he takes strike one from Armstrong. That one's a little bit outside. Armstrong got the strikeout of Soler last inning to end the inning. That one fouled away. He has a strikeout in every game in which he's appeared so far this year. And in fact, he came in with a strikeout per 9 number 13 and a half. 13 and a half strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched. And that's most on the club. You could tell when the Rangers built this bullpen in the offseason, it was pretty obvious what Chris Young and company were trying to do, as they added pitcher after pitcher who threw a lot of strikes. They get strikeouts, but maybe even more importantly, it seemed the focus was not walking guys. But in his case, Armstrong's case, he's been piling up the strikeouts. 2-2. Yeah, that's lined out to center field. Base hit for Shotwell. So Angels have a man on here in the 7th inning, and we'll let you listen to this from Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Just a little mood music for you. Kyron Paris 0 for 2, a strikeout on a line out today. And he was swinging for the downs right there.
He's done that a lot this series. He's slowed down so far these 2 games. And the Angels offense as a whole has. And I was wondering what was going to happen. You know, this is the 3rd city of a 3-city trip for them. And typically when that happens for any team, you're starting to run out of gas and ready to get home.
Found away 0-2 on Paris. They've been road warriors. The Angels, they have spent these first couple of weeks primarily on the road, but they've played well. Ron Washington pretty upbeat these last couple of days, even after last night's loss. They're off to a 9-7 start. They've been really one of the true surprise stories in these first couple of weeks. 0-2. I mean, squarely in the Murphy zone.
Definitely in the Murphy zone. It was off, but yeah.
It's a ball for
enough said.
That's right. Stays 1-2. Yeah, for mortals, that's a ball. But for those whose skills perhaps exceed the average man, they had to expand that zone a little bit. We welcome you to the Murphy zone. Shotwell with a small lead, the 1-2 pitch. Uh-oh. Got him on the arm, and Paris will head to first. I think he's okay. He wears a lot of protective gear on that arm.
This ball just got away from it. It looked like they tried to go front door cutter, where you start it right at the hitter and it ends up on the inside corner. Just lost control of it. Now, this is what's tricky about this game. It's kind of been a comfortable game with the Rangers getting off to that early lead. Angels chip away. They're able to break through for a run. They were threatening in the 6th when the Rangers got out of it, and Armstrong struck out Soler. But now with 2 runners on and 1 out, and you've got the go-ahead run, not just the tying run at the plate, things are getting a little bit more tense.
So Mike Maddux with some words of encouragement right there. Now Mad Dog, you see wearing the shades, and then just in case, he's got an extra pair of shades around the neck. Prepared.
It's bright in here.
Can be. Boy, one of the truly exemplary pitching coaches in the game. The resume for Mike Maddux is pretty much untouchable. Now in his second tour with the Rangers. When you look at this start the Rangers have had, I think most people would tell you it's been a success so far because the pitching has really done its job. The 1 strike offering. And a swing and a miss on Adell. 0-2. Now time called.
I think Jonah wore one pretty good on his thumb. It looked like he went to frame the baseball, and a lot of times a sinker in get a catcher right on their thumb. I think he shook his hand a little bit after he caught the baseball. There's the catch. Just jarred that thumb. Smarts a little bit.
All right, 0-2. And that's right down the middle. Strike 3 called. Big strikeout of Adell. 2 gone.
Well, great job by Armstrong. You could tell that he was trying to just get that fastball in on his hands and see if he could produce some type of double play ball. He gets a swing and a miss, and I don't know if he got Adell looking for something off speed or what. This started middle, went in on his hands a little bit, and just freezes him.
All right, Logan O'Hoppe announced as the pinch hitter. Maddux checking in on the bullpen to make sure that they have an answer for O'Hoppe. You can see nodding in the affirmative. So Bruce Bochy heads out and he signals to the bullpen. So matching move for move. O'Hoppe will be the hitter. New pitcher coming on for the Rangers in a 3-1 game.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rangers Television LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rangers Television LLC.
Boy, kind of felt that coming from your chest right there. You meant that.
Focused.
Well, Jacob Webb needs to be focused here against Logan O'Hoppe, the pinch hitter for the Angels.
Jacob Webb, the go-to guy. 9 innings for him this year. Brilliant strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, he gets O'Hoppe to offer at the first pitch. That's pretty deep out there to left, and it takes Harris right to the fence. Speaking of chests, heart beating right out of it on that one. Jeez, inning over.
Great job. Dustin Harris goes back to the fence. He's ready to jump if he needs to, but he reads the ball. Just secures it, just stays there. Well, our hearts are starting to pound. Good job, Dustin. Pitcher loves it.
Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. And by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives Texas. All right, fun night at the ballpark. Rangers with the 3-1 lead, and Kevin Pillar pinch hitting now for Jock Peterson. And he sends that one foul out of play. So Peterson down 0 for 3 tonight. The left-hander Brock Burke back out again. And so the Rangers counter with a right-handed hitter, Pillar, who has feasted in his career against lefties. But it comes up empty, 0-2.
Good opportunity to do it. Rangers with the lead, so most likely they'll just hit in the 7th and the 8th. And Peterson's spot in that case may not come up again, so the lefty out there try to get a leadoff hit and just extend your lead.
Burke rushes that one past him. 96 with a fastball. And he strikes Pilar out. One gone. So now the righty on righty here with Garcia coming up. Albombi 1 for 3 tonight. Burke is up and out with ball 1. Power on power here. The 1-0. And that's where a lot of teams have attacked Adolis over the seasons. We've seen him. Fastball's up. Well, left-hander Burke gets his sign, and now the pitch. Foul back. I say sign. I mean, he gets the communication from d'Arnaud.
Probably still can be considered a sign. Even
I mean,
if
it
it's
is.
not fingers.
Right. Secret code. Here's the 1-2, and that's fouled away. There's a new shortstop. Tim Anderson, the veteran, has taken over at shortstop for the Angels here in the 7th inning. After Newman was lifted for the pinch hitter. Now that foul ball, I thought it looked like it went off d'Arnaud's knee, but it definitely got a piece of Ramos's face mask, it looks like. Let's see.
I think d'Arnaud reacted in such a way where he knew that it clipped Ramos, and obviously as a catcher you know how badly that can sting. So
that's funny. I thought it hit his knee. It didn't at all. Glanced right up and hit Ramos, and it, you know, there's normally that little dangling neck protector which you just saw him take off. It's fouled away. Stays 1 and 2 on Garcia. Now he'll definitely want to replace that maybe between innings. But right now didn't want to hold up the proceedings, so he's kind of risking it a little bit now. Burke's pitch. That's fouled back. Murph, the other day we saw something here we haven't seen in the history of this building. We saw a foul ball. I don't want to say get into the booth. Basically did, though. It hit the arm of our little camera here in the booth and then bounced out.
who hit it?
It's a good question. I don't even remember. The 1-2. And that one is out to the alley in right field. That gets down, base hit, and more. Garcia got a great start out of the box. He's going to turn second and now retreat. A 1-hit, or rather 1-out double for Garcia, his second hit of the night.
Well, Adolis was thinking about it. This is a good swing, first of all, and he fouled off a ton of pitches. Obviously, where you want to beat him is up in the zone, and that fastball was down. He shoots it into the gap, and he is hustling. He wants third. He thinks about it, takes a hard turn, and just puts on the brakes. With a 3-1 lead and 1 out, it would have been a good time to go for it, even if he gets thrown out. But then he's just going to steal third.
He's going for it, and he's got a stolen base, his 4th of the year. And he's perfect at stolen base attempts now.
That's how quickly a baseball player's mind works. He knew when he was rounding second, he's like, no, I'm going to shut it down. I'm just going to steal third on the first pitch.
That's right. Infield in now with Garcia 90 feet away. That would be big if Young could get him to the plate. 1-1. Well, let's check in with Laura.
Well, guys, when I talked with Ross Fenstermaker today, he was talking about the guys running the bases, and he said an old Ranger, Ian Kinsler, told him, and he said he was kind of paraphrasing, but good teams run the bases well, and good teammates run the bases well for each other, guys.
There's a swing and a miss by Young.
Yeah, I love it, too. that Kins was as good of a base runner as there was. Like, he was bold. He and Elvis at the top of the lineup, those two wreaked havoc on any team with as aggressive as they were. I've talked about it multiple times, and they would make mistakes. They would make aggressive mistakes, and at times they could seem frustrating, and fans would be frustrated. But the amount of extra bases they took and the risk they took, it far outweighed the outs that they made and benefited the team.
Garcia, big base runner down there at third. The way these games have gone, low scoring. It's huge. The pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. Young strikes out. And boy, for Burke, that's a huge out.
Let's check out our Yingling flight cam. It's all about Dustin Harris today. He's had some good at bats. He had doubled early on. This is what he did over in Seattle. This is a bomb off of Logan Gilbert the other day. Logan Gilbert was good. And here's the double down the right field line that I just mentioned. Ended up being a ground rule double, but he's taken some nice swings. Good reports on him. We were down there before the game today, and there were some guys that just had nothing but great things to say about him and just the type of energy that he's bringing to the team, the quality of his at-bats. He's obviously hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to talk to, and he takes outside and low. 1-1, just having fun, but seems fairly comfortable. I'm impressed. Talked to him about it in Seattle, and he mentioned that the time last year when he came up at the end of the year in Anaheim, how much of a difference that made, along with another spring training, just to get to know the guys, get a little more comfortable in the clubhouse. Well, he has handled himself beautifully. Time called right as Burke was about to deliver, and I think time was called by d'Arnaud, probably in French.
Do you know what timeout is in French?
Oui, oui.
Oui. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Oh, see, no, yeah, that I don't know. I guess that's time. You just tickle the umpire on the leg. The French. This one ripped foul. Uh-oh. Another shot there. Hazard pay for Laura.
And on the hands, get the head out.
Oh man, strike three call. Brock Burke strikes out the side in the 7th inning and works around that Garcia double. Rangers leave a man. We go to the 8th in a 2-run game.
We got one more chance to watch the Rangers take on the Angels and Mike Trout. The series concludes tomorrow. Angels, excuse me, versus Rangers here at Globe Life Field. Scan the QR code or visit Rangers.com for tickets. Not your typical midweek getaway day game. It will be another night game. And if all goes well, Rangers will finish this one off and they'll be going for the sweep tomorrow.
That would be ideal. A big series over the weekend with the Dodgers. An all LA homestand. Top of the order here, and Webb's next offering lifted out toward right field. Garcia makes the catch. One away. 2 fly ball outs for Webb. One took Harris to the wall to win the 7th inning. Kind of scary. That ball was hit pretty well.
And he is a fly ball pitcher, only a 24% ground ball rate. That's definitely on the lower side. Exactly the opposite of what we saw out of Soriano, the Angels starter. But either way, we'll take whatever type of outs that we can get. Some get them in the air, some get them on the ground.
One gone, and Rengifo fouls that back. 0-2 the count to the Angels' third baseman tonight, Rengifo. Your point's a good one, though, Murph. It's the tail end of a long trip early in the season for this team. Trip that started in Florida in St. Petersburg against the Rays. Then they went to Houston, dropped 2 out of 3 there, and now this series pretty tough. Rengifo strikes out 2 away. Lord knows the Rangers had a little trouble on their last road trip.
And there just seems to be some type of maybe a little bit of a disadvantage for the West Coast teams that, you know, they go to Tampa and they're playing in the East time zone, which is 3 time zones removed from where they are. And here in the Central time zone, it's 2 time zones difference. Maybe it doesn't matter so much early in the season, but I don't know. There is something to be said. I would be curious to see the statistics on just team performance in general in the 3rd city of a 3-city trip.
No balls and 2 strikes on Mike Trout now. Top of the 8th inning. Trout does have a hit tonight. That came back in the 4th. Oh, 2. Well, you played, obviously, here with the Rangers, but you played with Boston. Played briefly with the Angels. Would you say that the traveling lifestyle with Boston was, you know, measurably better than what it was for the Rangers?
That's hard to say. The big thing with the Rangers is all the West Division travel before the Astros were added to the division. And then just the opposite, when I went to go play for Cleveland, travel within the division was a thing of beauty.
Piece of cake.
Because
yeah.
all the flights were 45 minutes to an hour. They were so close. So that was nice.
2-2, and Webb just missed. Yeah, Central Division living is pretty much the way to go in baseball. Either league. Well, a payoff, and Trout hits it on the ground. Boy, that was blistered. Seager's there though, and a good pick at first by Berger. And it's a 1-2-3, 8th inning for Webb. Great job in relief. Face 4, retired 4, keeps it a 2-run lead.
Jake Berger with 3 hits today, all singles, and he has been great for this Rangers offense. And he told me in Seattle that things really started to turn around for him in Chicago in that Imanaga game. He said, I tried to get back to who I am, playing with swagger. He said he stopped trying to hit home runs every time he was up to the plate. He said that allowed me to back off the ball a little bit and then ride those off-speed pitches more, and good things come from that. But he said, you know, every time that you go up there trying to hit a home run, you're probably not going to hit a home run. Home runs are thrown, they are not hit, guys.
That's a great point, and you know, it's crazy. As long as you play this game and as many at-bats as you have, you go through those streaks where you still think you can force the action and make it happen.
Well, he lifts that into short right field, 1 away in the 8th inning. Well, he did that against a new pitcher, Michael Darrell Hicks, 27-year-old right-hander on here.
Yep, just 2 innings pitched in his major league career. He is a rookie this year. You see the big ERA. It's just in the limited amount of time. 429 batting average against. So he's just trying to get some innings under his belt. This is a perfect opportunity for him.
That was right after Jonah Heim with a fastball. Jonah 0 for 2 with a walk. Darrell Hicks just recalled before Friday's game recently for the Angels. That one also a strike, 0-2. Jonah, not a fan. That or he just took a bite of asparagus. That look on his face like, no, I don't want to eat my vegetables.
You don't like asparagus?
I love asparagus.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Jonah, no. This one out towards center, coming on for Adele. He likes Brussels sprouts. makes a catch, 2 away. How are you on Brussels sprouts?
I like asparagus more.
Okay.
Brussels sprouts are growing on me. Been eating. If it's in front of me, I'll eat it. Like if it's
we've certainly learned that.
if it's an appetizer, whatever it is, or if it's a side, if it's in front of me, I'll eat it. As long as it's not seafood.
Yeah, that blows me away. It's the first pitch here to Tavares is off the plate. No seafood.
No seafood.
Anything like shellfish?
Like if we go, if you go to like a Benihana or a place like that, I'll eat the grilled shrimp.
Okay, there's a fly ball to center, and Adell tracks it down. How about a 5-pitch inning right there for Darrell Hicks? Rangers go quietly. 9th inning coming up. Last chance for the Angels in a 3-1 game, and Luke Jackson will be coming on for the Rangers to try and finish this one off. Rangers lead. It's a save spot for Luke Jackson, and he's on in this 9th inning.
2 nights in a row for Luke. 5 saves for him in 7 innings pitched. 0-1 record in 8 games. 3.86 ERA.
All right, he's going to get the heart of the order from the Angels here. Jorge Soler leading it off. He's 0 for 3 tonight, and he lifts this one out into right field for Garcia, and that's a first out of the inning. Well, that's a nice way to get things started. Brings up Travis d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud is 1 for 3. Rangers 3 runs, 11 hits. In fact, they put 10 of those hits on Jose Soriano, which is a career high for Soriano. They kind of had him under pressure from jump today. And strike pitch to d'Arnaud, and there's a swing and a miss. Patrick Corbin outstanding today, 5 1/3. Not a run on 5 hits, struck out 6. Bullpen trying to take care of the rest of it. Armstrong an inning and a third scoreless. Jacob Webb an inning and a third scoreless, and now Luke Jackson. They gave us the attendance figure tonight, 20,535, the paid attendance on a Wednesday evening. Good group. 1-2 pitch, broken bat roller up the middle. Seager has it, throws to first, and they get d'Arnaud. Had a little extra time there with d'Arnaud running. And that'll get him up. Rangers looking for their 11th win of the year. Shonowell the batter, and he'll go after the first pitch, hit it right out to Garcia, and just like that, this one is over. Luke Jackson, a 6-pitch 9th inning, and the Rangers have won this series with a chance to sweep tomorrow.
Great birthday present for Bruce Bochy. Rangers pitchers, phenomenal job. 6-3 up, 3 down innings for them.
Excellent job all around. Just enough offense again tonight, and the Rangers with their 11th win of the year. All right, let's take a quick break. Come back and wrap this one up for you in just a moment.